Alright guys, another update on the Falcon, working on the lighting for the cockpit area. You can see right here, it's a 5mm white LED. I got the fiber optics in the cockpit. I'm going to have 4 running to the cockpit, and they're going to blink off and on using the HLI board for the Falcon. Got it hooked up to a 9V just for the LED. And that's what I've been working on so far. I'll be getting ready to button it up here in a little bit, but I figured I'd give everybody a quick update on the lighting for the cockpit area. I'll continue working on this off camera, and I'll talk with everybody later. Alright everybody, back on the Falcon. This is the start of part 3. Get it right this time. I haven't posted in 4 months. I just did part 2, and I'll be posting it up on my YouTube channel sometime today. Right now on my workbench I got the Falcon. I've got these 2 parts to attach to the Falcon. I'll be using my snips right there to clean it up. Yesterday I applied the side parts right there, one on each side on both sides of the Falcon. And then of course these on one on each side will go there, and then I will say the Falcon's done, other than the canopy, which is clear. I'll have to put that on once I touch up the light leaks on the inside of the cockpit. You can see here I got a little bit of the fiber optic sticking through here on the front for the lighting, and then I got the 2 lights in the inside there. It's going to be a little tricky. I'll have to get in there somehow and cut those back once it's painted. I'll have to figure that out when I get to it. The rear of the Falcon looks pretty cool. See here, the engine looks really cool with the HLI board I have for it. The engine effect looks really cool. But she's together, other than I got to get the top part installed as well. And like I said, the cockpit area. But right now, off camera, I'm going to glue these parts on to each side of the Falcon here and get that out of the way. And then I'll look at the Falcon over, and there's a few spots I have light leaks, and I need a little, maybe add a little putty to the Falcon before I get it ready for the spray booth for its first coat of primer. I'll have to get the back here with the black first because of the light leak I have here and on the bottom of the Falcon, and minor, but it's looking good, and can't wait till I can get it in the spray booth and hit it with some primer. So I'm going to go ahead and do this off camera with these 2 parts here. I'll go ahead and pause for now. Talk with everybody later. Alright everybody, back on the Falcon. What I'm going to be working on the Falcon today is some putty work. There are some areas on the Falcon that I'm going to have to hit with some putty and clean the areas up, especially in these sections here. I'm going to have to clean it up right here where my finger is. Pretty good gap right there, you can see, and I'm going to have to fill that in. I looked at some pictures online, and there is some kind of panel line there, but it's not, don't have the gap on it like this does here. You can see if the camera's picking that up, and it's the same on the other side. Everything went together fine, and I would leave it like that, but I'll clean that up a little bit. And around the cockpit area in front here, there's this side needs a little work, and on the other side needs a little bit of putty work. I've got a couple light leaks in the rear here by the engine. Down here I have a light leak, and a little bit on this side here, and I'll have to plug it hook it up to some power and see about the top side of it if there's any light leaks. I probably will use some tulip. I got some black tulip. I might use a little bit of that to cover up in there, or I may just paint flat black in there. I'll figure that out when I get to that part. But a few minor touch-ups, and then I have to glue the canopy on, and I'll use this ultra glue. I'll show that again. It's for photo edge and clear parts. The stuff is really good. I'll use that on the front here for the canopy, and then I think, I don't know if I have it here on my workbench. I thought I did. I have these templates. I think they're templates for covering up the windows on the cockpit, and up here where the gun goes. Also on the bottom, the same thing, where those windows are, where the gun is. Pretty sure that I'll have to look at them. I'm trying to pull them out of the package real quick. Everybody take a look at it. That's what you get. I don't know if they're tacky on the other side. They might be, just where I can cut those out. I'll see when I get to that stage. I'll have to double check the cockpit again, make sure all the light leaks are taken care of. But it's looking pretty good. With the lights blinking in front, that's going to look pretty cool in the cockpit area. But that's what I got going on my workbench today. I'm going to go ahead and putty up, do some putty work on this before I get it ready for the spray booth. So I'll go ahead and pause for now, continue working on the Falcon, and I'll talk with everybody later. Alright everybody, another update on the Falcon. I got it on my workbench today. I've got some putty work to do and some light leaks to take care of before I can get it ready for the spray booth. The putty I'm going to be using is the Tamiya. I got a little left in this tube here, and I got another tube right here. I'm going to look at, see if there's any touch-ups in the cockpit for light leaks before I seal it up with the clear canopy, and I'll be using, again, the Ultra Glue from Meg. It's designed for photo edge and clear parts. Used it on the engine and turned out pretty good. So that's what I got going on my workbench today. I'm going to get the little bit of putty work done to it and check for the light leaks. I got a couple back here I'm going to have to take care of in the rear by the engine. I got a few little light leaks. I'll probably touch it up with some flat black and take care of that. That's what I got going on my workbench today. I have to take care of all this little bit of work yet on the Falcon before I get it in the spray booth and hit it with some primer. I'm going to hit the back here real good with some black Stynylrez primer. Same for the bottom, but a little bit of a light leak I have back here from the engine effect, but that should take care of that part, and then I can get it with the primer. But that's next step once I get all this done. So I'll continue working on the Falcon. I'll pause for now, talk with everybody later. Alright everybody, another update on the Falcon. Over the weekend I primered it up, getting it ready for the primary color. I'll be setting it up in my spray booth today. Let everybody get a look at the Falcon. I used the Badger's Stynylrez gray primer and turned out pretty good. Took a couple coats and then it's been sitting for a couple days now, so I'm ready to go ahead and apply some primary color to it, which I'm using the Mission Models right here. They're Insignia White. I guess the number is 104. Yeah, it's 104 Insignia White. And I already have some mixed up in this bottle right here. I should have more than enough paint to do the primary color on the Falcon. So I'm going to get ready to set up the spray booth for this. And probably get the bottom of the Falcon first, then I'll flip it over, put it back on the stand, and then do the top of the Falcon. So I'll go ahead and set the spray booth up for this and put the primary color on it. I'll probably take a few coats of that, but I'll go ahead and set up the camera for the spray booth and give her first coat of paint. So I'll go ahead and pause for now, and I'll talk with everybody later. Alright guys, I'm ready to go. I'm going to hit it with the first coat. I'm going to get the bottom first, and then I'll pause the camera, flip the Falcon over, and do the top part. far it's looking pretty good. I'll go ahead and pause, touch it up a little bit more, and then I'll flip it over and do the other side. I'll be right back. Alright guys, back on the Falcon. I'm going to get the top now. Not looking too bad. Probably could have thinned the paint out a little bit more. First time I'm using the Mission Models. It's looking alright. Hopefully I got this all on camera. I'll go ahead and do some touch-ups and get the rear off camera, and I'll show the end results. So I'll go ahead and pause for now. Hopefully that was all on camera, and I'll talk with everybody later. Alright everybody, back on the Falcon. It turned out pretty good with that Mission Models Insignia White. You can see here. I'm definitely going to do some more touch-up on the Falcon. Some spots may have to do a little touch-up on, but not much. I have to check the engine in the rear and see if I need to touch it up with some more paint. But overall it turned out really good. I like it. See the cockpit area over here. May have to touch it up in here a little bit with some more paint. But just minor touch-ups before I can get to adding the other colors, the yellow and the red, and some gray panels. But looks good. I'll go ahead and let this dry. I'll probably touch it up tomorrow and then get ready for the yellow and the reds that go on the Falcon. I think there's a few panels on top that are gray and red, and the bottom the same, and I think the bottom's got some yellow panels on that. I'll have to look at the instructions and look at some pictures online, but I'm happy with the results. It looks pretty good. Turned out alright. Side view. Then the rear. Like I said, I might have to touch up the rear engine here. I'll have to see. And any touch-ups, like I said, I'll do that off camera. I'm happy with it. It's looking pretty cool. It's looking like the Falcon now. So I'll go ahead and pause for now on the Falcon, and I'll talk with everybody later. Alright everybody, another update on the Falcon. I worked a little bit on it today. Did some final touch-ups with the Insignia White. I'll show it again. Overall primary color, I used the Mission Models Insignia White, and I'll show it up close here. It's 104. It's great paint. Did thin it down, and I touched up the rear engine and a few spots on the bottom of the Falcon. Overall it looks really good. You can see here. Looks really good. I like it. Off camera I did the antenna, radar, dish, whatever you like to call that. Didn't mount it on the Falcon yet. I wanted to do that part separate. Same with the guns. I airbrushed them separate. All I have to do now is mount them onto the Falcon. Then these little windows here, I just did that today. They go up here on top, one on the bottom. I airbrushed those with the Insignia White. I hit it with a Stynylrez black primer first, and then I went over it with the Insignia White. Looks pretty good. Not much more I can do with the Falcon right now. I'm just debating now whether I'm going to use the decals that came with it. I have some decals from HDA Model Works as well. I may go ahead and do the panels that are in gray, red, and yellow. I may do that with just paint, airbrush those on to the Falcon instead of using the decals. I'll decide that when I get to that. Over here, I did the best I could with the blast marks. You can see them right there. And I'll have to hit those with some black. And looks pretty good. Could have made them a little bit bigger, but 1/44 scale, it's kind of hard to make sure just exactly how big they should be, but I'll go with that. Looks pretty good. I'll turn it around. Everybody can see the rear of the Falcon. Rear looks really good. I touched that up last couple days with the Insignia White. I touched it up a little bit more today, so it's looking good. So I'm going to go ahead and call this a wrap for part 3 on the HobbyLink International 2022 Star Wars group build. This is my 1/44 scale Falcon that I entered into the group build. I may do a little bit more detailed work to this before I hit it with a flat clear and then decide what I'm going to do about the panels. So again, I'm going to call this a wrap for part 3. I'd like to thank everybody for watching. Be safe out there, and I'll talk with everybody later.